Hey clashes, with 5 heroes in the game and a ton of different equipments, it is not easy to always pick the best ones. Especially with always new equipments getting added to the game, like for example the Frost Flake. Because of that, we're going to discuss the best equipments for every single hero, and as well the best equipments for the top strategies at the end of the video. But let's kick things off with the hero which has just received a new equipment, and that is the Roy Champion. The top 3 equipment combinations and as well how to use them. The first combination is the Electro Boots with either the Rocket Spear or the new Frostflake equipment. For this one, there is a difference. You want to use the Electro Boots with the Rocket Spear for Royal Champion charges which are not as long, or for example in smash attacks and ground attacks, which means with Meteor Golems or for example Root Riders, when you have tanks in your army composition. If you're going with a ground smash type attack like Super Bowlers or Throwers for example, you want to use the Electro Boots with the Snowflake. The difference here is that with the Electro Boots and then having the active ability of the Rocket Spear, your Roy Champ is going to fall behind, and this is synergizing really well with having tanky troops in front of her, like the Meteor Golem or for example like Root Riders. If you're having instead a more carry-orientated smash type like the Super Bowlers or like the Throwers, where those troops can deal a lot of damage, you want to use the Frostflake instead, because with that one you can not just support the Roy Champion, but as well your main push, and you can keep them safe from heavy hitting defenses. This is why both of those versions are really good, and it just depends on what type of ground army you are running. The second combination right now is my personal favorite. The reason is because it is pretty much just Rocket Spear and Shield, but instead you replace the Shield now with the Frostflake. The reason why this is so good is because in Dragon attacks, for example, you can snipe compartments while you still support your dragons and freeze defenses, which is really helpful. The same as, for example, in Warden charge attacks, where this equipment is a really big game changer. The reason is, normally when you're doing a Warden charge into like a Rocket Loon attack or something, you have the shield with your Rocket Spear to deal a lot of damage to take down a specific compartment. Instead, you can see now with this new equipment, you can add the Roy Champion on the flank of your heroes, and whenever you need the support, just freeze the defenses, and your Roy Champion can stay safe while your heroes can keep pushing forward. So it's a really great addition to any Warden shot Rocket Loon attack, and don't worry, I will have for you a video tomorrow for that strategy, because this right now I think is going to put so much more power into that strategy. It's kind of crazy. And I did not really think about that in the beginning, because I thought, hey, you need the hit point recovery from the Electro Boots. In smash attacks, that's correct. In those Warden charge attacks, it's not really needed. The last combination is if you're doing long Royal Champion charges, which are not meta anymore on Town Hall 18, but for Town Hall 17 and below, the Electro Boots with the Haste Vial are a really great combination. But hey, let's move on to the next hero, and that is going to be the Barbarian King. For this one, not really much has changed. If you're sending your Barbarian King around the base as a funnel, the Spiky Ball with the Snake Bracelet is the way to go. There is no better other option. If you're sending your king into the base, you want to go with the Spiky Ball and the Earthquake Boots. You have a lot of damage, you have the possibility to open up compartments. It's amazing. If you do not have any of those any of those 3 equipments, you can go as well with the Rage Vial and the Giant Gauntlet, but the first 2 equipment combinations are, to be honest, outperforming the third one. For the Archer Queen, we have not really many changes either. The action figure is just the way to go, and you can combine it with different equipments. The best synergy you have with the Magic Mirror, because you're spawning a tank and you have damage behind, you can combine it as well with the Giant Arrow, which is quite nice, or with the Healer Puppet. The important thing is the action figure. The next one is the Minion Prince, and this one might be quite surprising because, to be honest, I feel like the Meteor Staff wasn't that strong. Because especially if you compare the stats between Dark Orb and Meteor Staff and Dark Orb and the Dark Crown. The Crown has 1000 hit points more and 70 DPS more, especially because, well, you're stacking this Dark Crown up over time, and in the beginning it's not as important to have the DPS of the Meteor Staff, but it's important to have a strong Minion Prince on the back end of a base. This is why I personally prefer the Dark Orb and as well the Dark Crown combination, but many pros currently are running the Dark Orb with the Meteor Staff. So both of those options are for sure viable if you're going with an air attack. Then as well, we have the cheaper option, which is just the Dark Orb with the Henchman Puppet, which is working quite nice as well. If you're, again, a warden charge attacker who wants to have a hero on the back end, you should go with the Dark Orb and as well with the Metal Pants to make sure that you're tanky enough. The next one and the last hero on the list is the Warden. The Warden, still super strong, and not that many things have changed. You can change those depending on strategies like the order of the equipment combination. But hey, if you're going with tanky troops, and like for example dragons, the Eternal Tome with the healing book is still great. If you're going for warden charges, fireball, ground smash attacks, well, then the obvious choice is the fireball with the rage gem. If you're just going for a classic style where you have a ground attack, or in general a ground attack which is relying on healers, then you can for sure go with the Eternal Tome and Rage Gem, especially versus the modifiers, because you need those powered up healers. That's why the Rage Gem is so good over there. With that, we have went through every single hero, so let's dive into the current meta strategies and how those equipments are ranked over there. Which means I have all of the different equipments on the screen, as well as the white numbers, which is the priority, which means most important in this strategy is the Fireball, then the Rage Gem, and so on. And the red numbers is the minimum level. You should get the Fireball at least level 24 to make it useful, and then level 15 for the Rage Gem, and so on. That's pretty much the list over here explained, so you know what you're looking for. How you upgrade those? Well, you go first for the first equipment, level to the minimum level, move on to the second one, to the third one, and always do the same, repeat the process. Next strategy on the list is the Super Boulders. As I said, I just really like the Frost Flake with this combination because I just think having the Super Boulders, being able to push even more through the back end, I just like it quite a lot. But don't worry, if you are one of those who really dislike the new Royal Gem equipment, you can just go with a Rocket Spear. It should work as well. Like, do not stress about it. I know, just because I like the new equipment doesn't mean that you have to run it. That's completely fair. Next one on the list is then the Warden Charge. As I said, we're going to have that tomorrow as a video. I will as well try to do it with the Lock Launcher and Yetis. I feel like that might really be maybe a comeback here. I really hope for the best because I would love to keep playing that strategy or play it again because it is just so much fun. I feel like the Frost Flake as an addition to the hero dive and having the opportunity to really power up your heroes, a back-end revenge tower or something because you use your Royal Gem on the back end and you can freeze it for 7 seconds, that's a game changer. Then as well, the last one is the Mass Dragons as well with the Mass Totems, which right now is really strong. More and more top players are switching to this strategy because Fireball Meteor Golems, you can bait this quite heavily. Even players like Gaku have switched to this strategy, and it's just incredibly strong right now for even the top bases. If you can get those current anti-fireball, anti-meteor golem bases, because those are typically quite nice to attack. While the double poison diamond shape bases, this is where you might struggle with this strategy, but still, it is for sure one of those top strategies right now in the game. With that being said, we have covered all of those different strategies. We have covered all of those heroes individually with their equipments. And let me know how you think about all of this. I hope I was able to provide all of the necessary information, which means minimum level for equipment, as well as priority in general, as well as the best synergy and best combinations for different equipments and heroes. And if I was missing anything, let me know down below in the comments so I can answer your questions. And as always, thank you so much for watching the video. I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next one. Until then, see ya. And bye-bye.